Hello everyone, this is Angsty Rooster. Today we're going to be doing a Warhammer model building. Um, as you saw in the video prior, I have a bunch of Space Wolves because I love Space Wolves. They're my favorite. But I have some of the Deptus Mechanicus and I think it's Deptus Cerritus. I have to double check that. But uh, I have a couple different, random ones, but mainly Space Wolves. And today we're going to be doing the Demons of Zeech. I've been wanting to get into a new army. Uh, I think I have, just like the right amount of Space Wolves to have like a good game with, no matter how many points. I can't do like like Armageddon or anything, but, I have I think I could do at least 5,000 points, and so I wanted to kind of move on to another army. So I'm thinking about just really going hard into the demons, um, particularly the demons of Zeech. I think the game mechanic of them is pretty cool. I have to study it a little bit more to get a full grasp on it, but I like the kind of like randomization it has. But right now we're just going to try to build them. I don't have the paint for them, so I won't really go into that. I'm not really good at the painting either, but I feel like it's just something, it's just something I dive into, and so that's kind of like the whole idea of it is that you just kind of do it, you know. And so I'm gonna switch the camera up, but I'm gonna start building here soon. Okay, so I'll be right back. I don't remember. Anyways, um, but yeah, so building these are pretty easy. The the tools you need are these pliers and the glue. That's pretty much all you need. I usually use paper plate and some paper towel because the glue is pretty nasty stuff. It gets on the wrong materials, so I usually use that. But these guys were pretty cool. I really enjoyed building them. They're pretty simple. It's just a body, a leg, and then two arms, which isn't really that bad. A lot of the Space Wolves that I have, they have more of a they have a bunch of different guns and different equipment that you can put onto them, which I'm sure these guys have that a lot of the stuff you put on them too, but it just didn't seem as like in depth as you know the Space Wolves are. But it's probably because they're psychers, which is I'm not really used to playing psychers, so this is gonna be a good kind of learning experience to do them. But my buddy and I, uh, we would always play together, and he had Tyranids and the Tau, and so he always had good armies against my Space Wolves, but it was a good time. But yeah, building these things is a lot of fun if you get into it. It's a good hobby to have. It's time consuming, but and expensive, but it's okay. I really like building the bigger models, like the Lord of Change, I believe his name is in the top right hand picture is the bird looking thing, and I want to eventually get him, but I got to get more into this army to really try to do all that. And so I'm gonna start off with this. I'm gonna try to learn them. I have the booklet, uh, and so I need to like learn the rules as far as this army goes before I could really start buying a bunch of different models. Um, they they weren't really too bad. I've had uh, I think the worst one I've ever had is Adeptus Mechanicus. The is one of the guys for that. He's like a main character, and he was crazy. He had like 10 arms and all these little pieces that you had to put together. But it's kind of a lot, and so it didn't really. It worked out in the end, but it just took a long time to build them. I think it took me 2 days, honestly, because I had to go do something else. But yeah, today was a pretty good day as far as all the stuff that I wanted to do. and I'm happy I got these done. One of the things that I want to try to do in the channel is kind of explain other stuff that I did today, and which is pretty much I went to the my kickboxing class, but that was closed, and so I drove home and I made dinner, which was in a crock pot, and enchilada soup, which I might actually do. I want to do a cooking show, and so that might be something you guys could see coming up here soon. But I did that, and then this other gym by my house opened up later, and so I waited till that opened up, and I rode my bike to it. You know, did my whole gym thing. You know, pretty much abs and biceps and triceps and lower back because I have a hockey game coming up Wednesday, and which I'm really excited to play because hopefully I'm a little bit more in shape than last time because you know I really haven't done anything, you know, and so I'm trying to get that all back together, and so hopefully the hockey game coming up will be a better situation because last time I was super out of breath, but that's kind of like the idea is, you know, you just kind of do different things, and you know, hopefully working out will help me you know, keep on top of all of this because I definitely feel like I have more energy now, and so I could do all this stuff. But back to the Warhammer, if you know, obviously if you have any questions and I can answer any questions for you, I'd be happy to do so. One of the main things, you know, as far as building these guys is don't use too much glue. Put too much glue in, then you know it's going to get all messy, and you have to use a paper towel, which I have one here, to like wipe them off. And but you know, just do a little dab, it'll do you. So yeah, I'm just I just built the pink horrors. I think I'm gonna try to build the other ones in a different video. Maybe I'll build one and then, you know, just show the aftermath of it. But I think if you want some like kind of just a pretty like chill hobby, Warhammer is definitely a good place to go. There's like just a ton of different things that different types of armies you could get into. You know, like uh, if you want more of a, you know, numbers army, there's the orcs, or if you want uh, more shooting, is the Tau, which they just build a back line and just, you know, shoot from that. And you know, there's a whole like variety of different play styles for all these guys, and that's one of the things that I love about it. And the lore is just massive. Like you know, you'll never run out of material when it comes to the lore in this game. Which I've tried to, like, you know, watch videos of people trying to explain it, you know, and they're all like, you know, hours long, you know, and they're not even covering all of it. But you know, it's a good thing to get into. The I think the next army I want to get into is the Xenos, which is in there's basically two main armies, which is Imperium and uh, the Chaos, and which these guys are Chaos. They're demons as each, and the Space Wolves are Imperium. But the Xenos is kind of like the in between. You know, they're not really part of either faction or in either side of that. They're kind of in to do their own thing and, you know, continue on their way of life. And I think the Necromancers is one I'm kind of interested in, but I'm not 100% sure if that's right. But they seem pretty cool. I think the Tyranids look really cool. It's just that I've played against them a lot, and so like I kind of want something, you know, I'm looking for new stuff, you know, and to play against and you know, kind of figure out. But there's a whole lot to go into Warhammer, you know, like the booklet. You have a whole bunch of rules that you follow, and it's so easy to forget rules that benefit you. and it's kind of it's happened to me a lot where I'm just like, oh yeah, I could have rolled, another save, or I could have had a better or I could have had a vulnerable save, or I could have redeemed a wound, and all this kind of stuff. But eventually, I think I would like to get a tutorial, but I have to relearn the rules better. But if someone's into getting into Warhammer now, you just try to check out some of the videos that the other guys put out, because you know there's a couple people that have a lot of good stuff out there, and so I hope this video can help somebody. Like it really isn't that bad. When you pull it apart, it looks like a lot more than it is, but it's really not that bad. One of the cool things about Warhammer is all the little pieces. You can kind of change up your army to be how you want. Like this army, like, is, you can see like the arms. There's some with one arm, some with two arms, some with well, that goes either one or two. But like when you on both sides, you have them up to four arms. You have them with two arms. You have them with three arms. I think I did four with or six with three arms. No, I think I did five with three arms, two with two arms, and three with four arms. And that's one of the cool things about it, is that you can kind of customize them a little bit. Like the Space Wolves, they have like all kinds of guns and stuff you can put on them, but they also have symbols, and you can add grenades on their belt and all kinds of cool stuff like that. But one thing I recommend, if you're new to it, is to definitely keep all of the bits afterwards, because then you could kind of put them, together, or put other stuff on newer models that you get that you might not have available to you in the kit they come in. And so that's one thing I would recommend. And then it's also, you could add some aesthetics to it. Like my buddy that had the Tyranids, he put a Thousand Suns head underneath the claws of one of his Tyranids, and it's just kind of like a cool look, like like he just got done defeating one of them, and it's just moving on to the next guy. And so it was cool stuff like that. But one of the things is that it's really hard to kind of makeshift your own models, because the main parts of the models are the bodies, because that's where you attach everything to. And I attempted at one point to try to makeshift a model, and I basically took like these. I had some weird body parts, like I had like a chest plate in the back and all that. And what I did is I tried to make like the arms, like the legs, so it had like a knee and everything, and then I like try to cut it like a shoe or a boot, and make it kind of look legit. And it looked okay, but it was half the size of like the regular models, and so you could see them, you could notice it a mile away. And the next game that I played, I made sure to make him one of the leaders of my units, because I thought it was funny. So yeah, there's like stuff like that you could do. I used to play with this guy that he made one of his Tyranids is a different guy actually. He made them into the Xenomorphs from Alien, where they had like the big long head and like a tail protruding out, or not tail, a tongue protruding out with like a little head on it. It looked awesome. I can't believe he did that, but he's really talented when it came to that, because it is really detailed, like the line and everything. He did a really good job with it. But it's a really good hobby to get into. A lot of people, once you get into it, you get really sucked into it. Like I know I've seen people with a bunch of different, like just giant suitcases full of miniatures come into the store I'm at, and just open up this 10,000 point army. And so yeah, people get really into it. The community is pretty cool too. I had this guy, he played Space Wolves, and I was asking him about it and stuff like that. And there's a model called an Iron Priest, which isn't really. It's I think it's $25 for the model, which isn't too bad. But he let me use it, and then he told me just to keep it, which I thought was cool. I just like it's a pretty good community. At least the one by us. I think I'm gonna try to do where I record my games and I'm gonna post them. I don't know what days I'm gonna do it, but hopefully it'll work out all good. I might do like a voiceover or something. But yeah, these these guys they really weren't that bad. The is I am excited to play them though because I would like to play Psychers. I always forget there's a Psychers phase in between the movement and the combat phase. And my buddy did too because we would always just skip it and then he'd be like, "Oh, can I do my Psyker?" like right before, like after he did his first melee. And I'd be like, "Sure, whatever." 'Cause it's not really I'm not, we're not really sticklers when it comes as far as when it comes to rules. And that's one of the things too is you gotta kind of find someone who's kind of on the same you know kind of play style as you, because if you're pretty chill about it and you try to be kind of hardcore, or if you verse someone who's really hardcore about the rules, it's not really a good time because you just kind of you don't really mesh as far as gameplay goes. But it is a good time. Well, I think one of the best things is kind of finding strategies, you know, to like overcome your opponent, which is kind of what I did with my buddy's Tau. Is I always had a hard time fighting his Tau because he'd always backline and just murder me from the back line, and there's nothing I could do about it. Whereas I finally started creating like a strategy, like my the Wolfen would go in the back line, which is basically they're on the hunt, I believe the skill was called, and they would go on the back line, and I think the second or third turn they would drop in, and then my main army would stick next to Logan, which would give them a buff where they can't. It's basically almost where they can't fail to hit and do damage, and it was such a huge help when it came to actually getting to him because he would have to deal with my Wolfen coming in at him, as well as my whole army almost not failing a hit. And so I kind of created these two bubbles where there is just too much for his firepower to handle, and so ended up working out for me. And I think that's honestly why I got the Tyranids, so he could try to be aggressive towards me. And I tried to out aggressive his Tyranids once, and it just did not work. He wiped the floor with me. But then after that, I realized that I needed to like sit back and shoot when it comes to the Tyranids. And that's one of the things, is just to learn how to play against these different armies, and because everything's different each time you fight. But it looks like I'm actually almost done with all these guys right here. I think at this point I'm on the last one. There's 10 of these miniatures, or the pink horrors. Uh, like I said, I gotta learn the rules. I gotta play them, and hopefully it'll go alright. If I do play them, I'll try to make a video of it, and I'll upload it. But I'll catch you guys later. This Anxuster signing out. Have a good day.